Welcome to the Madison Miller podcast. Today's guest is our horse racing analyst. It's Haskell weekend at Monmouth Park, so we got to bring on our friend Jeff Byrnes to the show. How are you doing on this Friday evening?
I'm doing good, Madison. Happy Haskell Eve. Should be a fun race tomorrow at Monmouth Park.
It will absolutely be a fun race tomorrow at Monmouth Park. So we have a couple familiar horses in this race that we've seen early on. So let's start at the top. The number one horse is Bracket Buster, 10-1 on the money line. John Velasquez is going to be the jockey. Victoria Oliver, the trainer. Tell us about Bracket Buster.
So Bracket Buster, this horse has been coming along lately over the last couple of months. He is coming off of a win at Monmouth Park last time out in the Pegasus Stakes, which is the local prep for the Haskell at Monmouth Park. He won that race pretty much in good order. He was second all the way around, made his move turning for home, won the race going away pretty easily over wasn't exactly the greatest field in the world he faced, but still won very nicely. He did win that race, however, on a very sloppy track, but there is about a 50% chance of rain possibly tomorrow and Saturday, though I did see that it may clear up. I don't think it's going to rain, but the rain should affect the Haskell. I think we'll be okay for that. But he does have a win over at Monmouth Park. Earlier before the Pegasus Stakes, though, he two races back, he was second in the Grade 3 Lexington Stakes at Keeneland, in which he was second behind another Haskell horse in Gosker, who we'll get to in a little bit. Just missed in that race by 3/4 of a length. So he has been running against some pretty good horses in here, including he actually finished 7th in an allowance race on Kentucky Derby Day behind Goal Oriented, the Bob Baffert trained horse, who we'll get to in a little bit. But basically, the strategy for Bracket Buster is he's going to have to go from the inside. He is a speed horse, and from the one post, he's basically going to have to send it. John Velasquez is, for him to have any shot in this race. Yeah, basically, his speed figure-wise doesn't really hold up with some of the top horses in here. I can see him getting a top 4 finish if he gets to the front, maybe set a good tempo, but I think he'll be up against it Saturday.
Alrighty, the two horses, one that we've seen several times already, Journalism, your winner from the Preakness, and Journalism came close in the Belmont as well. Journalism is the favorite as of right now, 4-5 on the money line. That's crazy. Michael McCarthy's the trainer, and the jockey tomorrow will be Umberto Rispoli. What chance do you give Journalism to take home the Haskell? I think it's a great chance.
I think he's got a great chance, too. And on paper and speed figure-wise, Journalism towers over this field. Because obviously his 3-race run at the Triple Crown Series this year was remarkable. Second in the Kentucky Derby behind Sovereignty. His Preakness Stakes still, I remember saying it to you when I was on for the Belmont, was probably one of the most incredible races I've seen by any racehorse. For him to go through all that trouble, basically almost went down turning for home, and the fact that he still ran down Gosker to win that race was impressive. His run on the Belmont Stakes was really good as well. I thought Umberto Rispoli maybe a little bit of a move too early, but just got ran down by Sovereignty at the end. But he was still well clear of the others in here. And, Journalism and Sovereignty clearly are the first and second best horses in the country. And Journalism shows up here in the Haskell. A huge get from Monmouth Park. He clearly bounced out of the Belmont in great shape. Posted some very fast times at Santa Anita, and connections were like, all right, let's get him on a plane and get him to the Jersey Shore. So basically, as long as he comes out of the gate well, he should get a good trip from the inside. There's speed in Bracket Buster. Also some speed horses to his outside. So honestly, as long as Journalism doesn't get into any traffic trouble, which unfortunately he has for the past couple of races, Journalism, speed figure-wise, talent-wise, definitely the best horse in the field. Just going to be a question if he can work out the right trip from the 2-post.
Alrighty. Your 3-horse, Wild Crazy Night. One of the longer shots on the board, 30-1 on the money line. The trainer is Dan Ward. The jockey is Isaac Castillo. Tell us about Wild Crazy Night.
So Wild and Crazy Night, this is a New Jersey bred. His sire is Midnight Lou. Primarily was a sprint sire, but has sired some pretty nice long-distance horses in his stallion career. Wild and Crazy Night is coming off a second-place run behind Bracket Buster in the Pegasus Stakes. And he's 2 for 10 in his career. 4 of those 10 starts have come in Monmouth Park. He's never been worse than third in those 4 starts. He has a win, 2 seconds, and a third. He does represent New Jersey. On the board, 6 of his 10 lifetime starts. A lot of those starts, though, did come in sprints. He did stretch out for the Pegasus Stakes, ran pretty well as a long shot to get second. Just looking at him, though, however, when you look going up against horses like Journalism, Burnham Square, and Goal Oriented, some others, this horse is definitely up against it. And if he works out a good trip, maybe he can get into the top 4, but it would be a stunner if he wins on Saturday.
All right, Burnham Square is your 4 horse, 5-1 on the money line. The trainer is Ian Wilkes. The jockey will be Brian Joseph Hernandez Jr. Burnham Square, tell us about this horse.
So Burnham Square was one of the runners in the Kentucky Derby. He did win the Grade 1 Toyota Bluegrass as the prep for the Derby, and was actually getting a good trip in the Kentucky Derby. Unfortunately, he did run into some traffic trouble when some tiring horses ran into his path. He was closing well and did ultimately finish 6th in that race. The Connections opted to skip the Preakness in Belmont with Burnham Square and decided to point into the Grade 3 Met win instead, where he was actually finished a pretty good second in that race behind Heath Avenue, another fellow Kentucky Derby runner. Burnham Square ran into a slow pace that day in the Met win, was finishing strongly at the end just to get up for second. That race was going a mile and a 16th. He does get extra distance in the Haskell on Saturday, going a mile and an eighth. And I think there will be a much faster pace in front of him for him to chase. He is going to be one of these closers come from behind horses. Monmouth Park typically, though, is known for being like a speed favoring track many times. Though this horse, I think, is talented enough to overcome that. Like I said, I think there's going to be plenty of speed for him to chase between Bracket Buster, Gosker, among others. So I think he's definitely in for a shot on Saturday. Definitely to get into the top 4. If he can work out the good trip, and Brian Hernandez Jr. definitely knows how to work the rail and work the inside in his career. He's definitely known for that. So if he can work out the right trip, Bracket Buster, Burnham Square could be in for an upset chance on Saturday.
All righty, I'll keep that in mind. The 5 horse, National Law, 20-1 on the money line. Jorge Durate Jr. is the trainer. Irad Ortiz Jr. the jockey. That's a good jockey for that horse. Tell us about National Law.
So National Law does get the services of Irad Ortiz Jr. He's got a really lovely pedigree. A sire Constitution, very well-rounded sire. This horse is 2 for 5 in his career. He's never run in Monmouth Park before, but certainly I think he could be up against on Saturday. The couple of times he has run, both came on a sloppy racetrack were wins. One at Parks Racing in Pennsylvania, the other did come at Pimlico. But stepping up in competition here, obviously the services of Irad Ortiz Jr. is going to be big. He is going to be one of these speed horses, so I think he's going to have to send it from the gate. Irad Ortiz, I think, is going to try to work him out into the clear, try to get good position. He could set the tempo. He could just lay off of him, possibly Gosker. But he's going to be one of these horses I think it's going to be up against on Saturday. Speed figure-wise, just doesn't hold up with some of these. Maybe he could get into the top 4 with the right trip, but could be tough sledding for him Saturday.
Alrighty, so the 6 horse, Gosker's one of the favorites up here. 9-2 on the money line. Luis Saez, is that the correct pronouncing of the jockey's name?
Yep, that's correct.
And then the trainer, Brendan P. Walsh. Tell us about Gosker.
So Gosker, this is one of these horses that are exiting the Preakness Stakes. And coming into the Preakness, I remember telling you that this horse was running slow speed figures, including his win in the Grade 3 Lexington, but he did beat Bracket Buster in that race. But going into the Preakness, I told you, if this horse was going to have any kind of chance, he would have to run the fastest race of his life, the fastest speed figure of his life. Well, he actually did, and he still lost because Journalism is just an incredible racehorse. So Gosker ran an incredible race in the Preakness. I mean, he got a great trip from Luis Saez, was right up and on the pace behind Clever again. And while Journalism was making this move, Gosker was ultimately able to split horses and actually pull clear. And it looked like for the entire length of the stretch. Like he was going to win by open lengths, but journalism ran him down right on the money and nailed him at the line. But it was definitely a career best effort for Gosker. He's coming into this race in really good form. He's training really, really well. I think going from a mile and 3/16 down to a mile and an eighth, I think actually could help him because the distance is a little bit shorter. I think the tight turns in Monmouth Park also could help him as well. Gosker is a horse that has definitely been improving as the year has gone on. Brendan Walsh seems very high on him. Obviously, pedigree-wise, a Nyquist out of a Tappan mare could definitely get this distance. So Gosker is in for a big shot on Saturday. And if you go on to upset journalism, I think he could be a horse to keep an eye on for the rest of the year, possibly into a 4-year-old campaign as well.
Ooh, okay. Keep that one in mind. All right. Kentucky Outlaws, your 7-horse, 15-1 on the money line. Felisa Dunn is the trainer and owner, and the jockey is Florent Giroux. Tell us about Kentucky Outlaw.
So Kentucky Outlaw has done pretty well for his career. He's 3 for 5. In his career, 3 wins, 1 third-place finish. He did make 1 career start at Monmouth Park, and it was a win in the Long Branch Stakes back at opening weekend on May 10th. Raced just off the pace, turning for home, and won that race going away pretty powerfully. He does get the services of Florent Giroux, one of the best jockeys in the Midwest, and coming into New Jersey today or tomorrow. He is coming off of a third-place finish in the Delaware Derby last time out at Delaware Park, which he sat near the leaders and then just kind of faded towards the end. His owner, and it's the same owner and trainer, Felicia Dunn, who this was actually her very first stakes winner, Kentucky Outlaw. So it was a pretty cool story for her to even have a runner in the Grade 1 Haskell, going against some of the best horses in the country. This horse definitely, I think, has some talent. I'm just not sure he's up to par with some of these other competition. It would definitely be an upset if he were to win on Saturday, but I could certainly see maybe a top 4 finish if he works out the right trip.
All right, and last but not least, the 8-horse, Goal Oriented. That's a horse we've seen in the past. 4-1 on the money line. Bob Baffert's horse, and Flavian Pratt will be the jockey. Tell us about Goal Oriented.
So Goal Oriented, 2 for 3 in his career. We haven't seen this horse since he finished 4th in the Preakness Stakes back in mid-May. And for me, for trainer Bob Baffert, he's going for his 10th Haskell victory with this horse, Goal Oriented. He's going to have to do it from the far outside 8 post. But for Goal Oriented, this horse in a lot of ways confuses me because his 3 races have all been different styles. His career debut was a 6-furlong sprint in which he came from off the pace and won. Then his next start came on the undercard of the Kentucky Derby, in which he won wire to wire over a sloppy racetrack. And then in the Preakness Stakes, he sat off the pace and was part of that bumper cars turning for home with journalism and Clever again. Ultimately faded to finish 4th. And really, I thought the Connections kind of made a mistake by bringing him back 2 weeks rest off of an allowance win. I thought they should have waited, maybe pointed for another race, but this horse confused me because he's had 3 races at 3 different running styles. I'm not exactly sure which goal oriented we're going to see on Saturday. Are we going to see Flavian Pratt send this horse to the lead from the outside 8 post? Because I don't think the Connections wanted to have a wide trip. But are we going to see him maybe sit off the pace? It's going to be really interesting to see what Flavian Pratt ultimately decides to do with him because I think this horse is very talented. I do question the way the Connections have handled him, though. The 3 races in a short period of time. Now, he has had a bit of a break, and he has been working extremely well out in California since the Preakness Stakes. So, I definitely think he can get to the top 3. I'm not exactly sure if he's as talented as journalism. I think maybe with more time, he could definitely be a nice horse to watch from the future. But, goal-oriented, I think, is the wild card here. What he does could ultimately decide the outcome of this race.
Okay. That's very interesting that you think that. All right, let's go to win, place, and show. I have a feeling we're going to agree on the winners, so take it away. Who's your winner pick?
I hate playing favorites, but I am going to go with journalism because I think this horse, speed figure-wise and talented-wise, he he towers over this field. He should win this race. I won't be surprised if he goes off at 1-5 or 1-2. I think he's going to be that short of a favorite. But he's. I said it after. I remember saying after the Belmont, the hit that journalism and sovereignty honestly might be the two best 3-year-olds that I've seen, maybe in the last 5 to 10 years, because they're extremely talented. The fact that Monmouth Park was able to get journalism to come to their racetrack for the Haskell is a big get for them. So hopefully he runs well Saturday and wins. I think I'll be rooting for him. So I'll go journalism for the win Saturday.
I agree with you. Journalism is the favorite for a reason. He, along with Sovereignty, the best 2 horses we've seen in a while. I do agree with that. It sucks that Sovereignty isn't there, but at least we get journalism in our home state. So I'm going with journalism for the win. How about your place pick?
My place pick, I'm going to go with Gosker. So if it holds up, we could have another 1-2, just like they ran on the Preakness. So yeah, Gosker I feel like has been improving. I love the way his work tap coming in. Brendan Walsh doesn't really send his horses to New Jersey very often unless he shows confidence. So I think Oscar, with the shorter distance, I think he stands for a good chance Saturday. So I'll take him for second.
Okay, I'm going to go goal-oriented for second place. 2 for 3 in his career. Bob Baffert's horses, I've seen them do well at Monmouth in the past. So it's just a gut feeling. I have a goal-oriented. So that's going to be my my pick there for the place. How about your show pick?
My show pick will be goal-oriented. Like I said, it's going to be interesting to see what Flavien Prat does with him, if he sends him to the front, or maybe tries to take him off the pace. But, I mean, when it comes to Bob Baffert and Monmouth Park, you never count this guy out. Like I say, he's going for his 10th Haskell win on Saturday. I mean, he's had so many runners at Monmouth Park over the years, and he's won with so many, including American Pharoah 10 years ago. But I think goal-oriented. I think he's going to get better ultimately with time and with racing. So I'll take him to finish third.
I'm going to go with Burnham Square for third place. 3 of his 5 races this year in the top 3, and then 6 of 8 in the top 3 in his career. Good horse. I have a funny feeling about Burnham Square potentially hanging in the race right there with journalism, but I'm going to say Burnham Square comes in third. So I'm going a little bit off the grind there for my show pick. Okay, any undercard horses you're keeping your eye on for tomorrow?
Yeah, so for the undercard, race 10 in Monmouth tomorrow is the Grade 3 $500,000 Molly Pitcher Stakes. And this came up a really, really good field. You have 5 Grade 1 winners entered up to 9 in this race. However, it's probably going to be 4 because one of them, Leslie Rose, is going to scratch. Leslie Rose actually won at Saratoga earlier today in a Grade 3 race, so good reason for her to scratch. Mm-hmm. But, so yeah, 4 Grade 1 winners. I think the horse I'm keeping an eye on is the 3 randomized for trainer Chad Brown, jockey Flavien Prat. She's a Grade 1 winner, age 3 and an age 4. She comes to Monmouth Park off of a subpar effort in the Auction Phip Stakes on Belmont Day at Saratoga. That race was run over a sloppy racetrack. It should be a fast track tomorrow. And I think with looking at the rest of the field, I think she's just more talented than the rest. So randomized, she's going to sit a good trip. I think she could win this Molly Pitcher Stakes. And the race before the Haskell, the Grade 2 United Nations going the 1 3/8 on the turf. This number 7, Rebel Red, for jockey Louise Syed and trainer Cherie DeVoe. This is a horse who is coming off a win in the Chillingworth Stakes at Churchill Downs last time out. He has run the marathon distance in the past before, but it looks like the connections have finally found a distance that he likes. I also think he's going to sit a good trip. Louise Syed needs to keep him out on the clear and stay out of trouble, but Rebel Red is a horse I like in the United Nations tomorrow.
Rebel Red. I like that name for the horse. 9-2 odds. Not bad. Alrighty, so let's talk a little baseball. So the season resumed. Did it resume yesterday? Why do I feel like there was a game yesterday?
I don't recall there being a game yesterday. I feel like
the
season actually started today.
Last couple of years, I remember ESPN having like a Thursday night game to start like the post All-Star break. I guess that didn't happen this year. So, our beloved Yankees are in second in their division. the Mets are also in second in their division after good starts. Both teams kind of swooned for 6 weeks or so. And then now we're here at the All-Star break, a little bit of a refresh. I think the Yankees needed the All-Star break, even though they did win that one series. They swept Seattle. They did end up losing 2 out of 3 to the Cubs. So I think the All-Star break was a good thing for the Yankees. And now all eyes are on the trade deadline. I have a couple names in mind for possible trade targets. Who's your ideal trade target for the Yankees as they head into the second half of the season?
Well, looking at the Yankees, I think everybody's in agreement. They need a third baseman in the worst way possible because obviously the loss of Oswaldo Cabrera, I think, has really hurt them. Oswald Peraza is just not it at third base. He can't hit, but he's a good fielder, so he could be a good pinch piece, but he's not a good hitter. So maybe looking at someone like a Eugenio Suarez from the Diamondbacks. I know he strikes out a lot, but he's been hitting for power. So I mean, you got him. You got maybe Ryan McMahon from the Colorado Rockies. I mean, so the Yankees definitely need a third baseman in the worst way possible. I mean, maybe they could use another starting pitcher if they want to go that route. I saw rumors that there could be a link to like a Mitch Keller of the Pittsburgh Pirates. So I know the Yankees and Pirates have been trade partners a lot in the past, so maybe that's something that could come up for them as well. I mean, you could maybe go get bullpen arms as well. Because you never hurts to have too many bullpen arms.
Right.
I mean, maybe someone like a Jake Bird from the Colorado Rockies, even though it could cost him a lot because I think he's one of the best relievers in the entire baseball. So that's definitely a couple horses that a couple guys that I could be keeping an eye on for the trade deadline.
Yandy Diaz, I'm going to throw that name out there. They were linked to him in the past, and I saw his name pop up in trade rumors today. So,
okay.
In regards to the Red Sox, not the Yankees, but I think that would be a good fit for the Yankees as well. But although I'd rather have Suarez, because I feel like Yandy Diaz might cost more prospect-wise in the trade market than Suarez. But I could be wrong about that. But yeah, I like Suarez, but I think they should go for a starting pitcher. Mitch Keller, I would really be happy with. I mean, I do think they need at least one. I saw people say they need 2. I think that's ridiculous because Luis Hill's coming back, and he was the Rookie of the Year last year. So, ideally, you have Fried, you have Rodon, and you have Luis Hill at the 1, 2, 3, and you just need a 4th guy for the playoffs. And then Stroman, I like him as the 5th starter, unpopular opinion, but he hasn't been a disaster. Just put him in the 5 spot. And then Mitch Keller would just make that rotation even better. I mean, I like Mitch Keller a lot, and I like him more than most people. So I would absolutely love that fit, but we'll see. That's just an interesting name. I mean, I know I've seen Alcantara thrown out there, but I personally think that that's more of like a Mets guy, right? Don't you think Sandy Alcantara would be a better fit on the Mets?
I think it could be a good fit for the Mets. I just question though if the Marlins want to trade for the division rival, especially for a pitcher of his caliber, unless the Mets are going to give up maybe a big prospect or 2 for Sandy Alcantara. I know he hasn't had the greatest season in the world, but this is still a former Cy Young winner. I mean, you could possibly trade to a division rival. So I don't see it maybe for the Mets. I could see them going elsewhere in terms of maybe getting a starting pitcher because the Mets rotation has just been decimated with injuries. So they definitely need to go target a pitcher. I mean, if Mitch Keller becomes available, maybe the Mets could target him as well.
That'd be a good one.
So they keep an eye out for them. I don't know. Even I wonder if the Mets also could take a flyer on someone like Charlie Morton because he's got off to a rough start, but he's actually been pitching pretty well over the last month and a half or so. I read he actually has like under a 3 ERA over the last month. So maybe he's starting to turn around, figure it out. He's only on a 1-year deal, so I know he's 40-plus years old. So I think maybe Charlie Morton could be somebody the Mets take a look at.
Yeah, I'm fascinated for the trade deadline because I heard today that the Guardians might be selling some players, but I think they'll keep like their main guys like Jose Ramirez and Steven Kwan. But I could see them selling like some bullpen pieces. I mean, I think the Mets could use bullpen more so than the Yankees personally. I think that's more of like a Met weakness per se. But I don't look at that as a Yankee weakness because guys are coming back from injury and stuff. But like you said, it never hurts to add relievers. The Yankees, even when the bullpen is good, they address it at the deadline in case of injury. That's where I think Cashman's smart about that. But it's going to be an interesting rest of the summer. One more thing I want to bring up to you. What do you make of the LeBron trade rumors?
I mean, personally, I don't know if LeBron's going to get traded. I mean, I've seen those rumors. If he's going to get traded, I mean, I would think he probably want to go back to Cleveland maybe for one last run. I mean, I've heard rumors that the Knicks could possibly trade for him, but I just don't see that. I mean, looking at it, I mean, personally, I think LeBron's going to retire after this upcoming season. I mean, I feel like I saw a player that actually looked old for once. I mean, because it's LeBron James. I mean, he like basically, he defines time with the way he plays. But so I mean, I don't know. I think that ultimately he's going to be a Laker this year. Maybe if for some reason the Lakers are kind of like around 500 or so at the trade deadline, that could be a discussion to have. But I just don't buy the rumors that he's going to be traded, though.
Yeah, I wasn't buying him either, but I feel like it got louder at one point, and I feel like it's kind of quieted to the point where I do agree with you that he's going to be a Laker this year. But I just wanted to bring that up because that was such a huge story a couple weeks ago, and I haven't done podcasts really because I've just been busy myself. But once football's coming around, I'm going to be back on it big time with football coming back in both the NFL and college. So what's the next big horse race? Is it the one at Saratoga?
Yes, we got next week, actually, next Saturday after the Haskell is the Grade 2 Jim Dandy, which is the local prep for the Grade 1 Travers Stakes on August 23rd. That's where Sovereignty, the Derby and Belmont winner, could resurface, use that race as his prep for the Travers. And if all goes well on Saturday with journalism, if he goes out, does his thing and wins the Haskell, comes out of the race in good shape, it could be round 3. Between Sovereignty and journalism and the Travers Stakes. It could. I mean, the connections have kind of been talking about it. They've been, kind of maybe Travers, maybe the Grade 1 Pacific Classic at Del Mar in California if he comes out of the Haskell well. So, we'll see. But the Travers definitely would be the next big race for 3-year-olds after the Haskell on Saturday.
All right. Looking forward to it, especially if the round 3 of Sovereignty and journalism happens. All right, Jeff Byrnes, it was a pleasure to have you on as always, and maybe we'll get you on next month for the Travers Stakes.
All right, Madison, sounds good. It's always good to talk to you.
Always good to talk to you, too.